there's one statement I found only gets more true over time, it's that it is really, really hard out there in the world for white males. It's certainly hard out there on the pop charts, where we haven't had a big name white male pop singer in a long time. The last real one out there was Justin Timberlake, but he quit his day job several years ago to pursue his dream of making funny videos on the internet. What an idiot. And since then, there hasn't really been a white male pop star to replace him. I mean, I guess there's Eminem if you really want to stretch the definition of pop singer, and there's Justin Bieber, of course, but he gets so very little airplay. He's more like a really well-known niche performer. And Mike Posner...
Once I throw on this bow, chicka wow wow, what you gonna say?
Yeah, I think we're all about done with that. So, there was a major vacancy that needed to be filled in the pop world. And, out of nowhere, we apparently all decided that the person to fill that void was a preening peacock by the name of Adam Levine. Adam Levine, in case you don't know, is the lead singer and guitarist of Maroon 5, a band that, well, I'll be honest, I never thought were really any good. Like, I don't understand what their appeal is. Their music is too sour and harsh to be catchy, but too polished and weak to rock, you know? Actually, no, that's not fair. I think some of their songs are okay, but there's definitely a Maroon 5 sound, and they sound best when they get as far from that as possible. I mean, they are capable of making good music, I'll admit that, but more often, they're just really bad. Seriously, why would anyone want to listen to this? Now, allegedly, their sound is based on funk rock, but their idea of funk is stiffer and whiter than a dead harp seal. Not helping either is the fact that I've always been kind of put off by Adam Levine's weird, not quite human voice. Seriously, he's like a clarinet that somehow learned to talk. No wonder their first single was called Harder to Breathe. He sounds like he's running out of air. Like I said, they're not always terrible, but for the most part, Maroon 5 writes a lot of catty, douchey songs, and Adam Levine really just seems way too impressed with himself, so I was not too broken up when that last Maroon 5 album didn't do so well. Probably because it didn't mention clubs enough, and that was all we were listening to last year. But Levine apparently didn't like the idea of him fading into obscurity as much as I did, so he started working overtime to keep up with the publicity. Became a celebrity judge on some American Idol ripoff called The Voice. He started hitting all the talk shows, did guest verses on hip-hop songs, and most importantly, his band recorded a dance jam called Moves Like Jagger. Let's let the man explain.
I don't know if we expected Jagger to be so successful. It was one of those songs that was definitely a risk. It's a bold statement, so it's different for us because we've never released a song like that. But it's exciting to do something different, do something new.
Bullshit. What, you mean these guys? Maroon 5? Their new bold statement is a disco-y rock tune about sex?
My ego is bare, I don't give a shit.
Whoa, guys, slow down. You're moving so fast with this radical shift in direction, I'm getting like whiplash over here. Well, that's what I thought at first, at least. But after repeated listens, I do get the sense that this legitimately is a change in direction for Maroon 5. But I don't mean that in any of the good ways. Now, I'm calling Adam Levine a new pop star because although Maroon 5 have always insisted they're a legit rock band, they've never seemed more like a pre-packaged studio creation than here. Musically, there's not a big difference in their sound, but what I hear in Moves Like Jagger is the same thing I heard in Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne or Kelly Clarkson's My Life Would Suck Without You. It's the sound of an act who pretended at least to have some measure of originality, now completely giving in and making trend-riding, pre-packaged retreads of better work. And yes, I know the acts I listed were never exactly bastions of artistic integrity or anything, but there's still a noticeable loss of personality and inspiration here. Now, that doesn't make Moves Like Jagger bad exactly. In fact, I dare say I enjoy it more than most Maroon 5 songs. But there's still something important missing. What I Don't Want to Miss a Thing meant for Aerosmith, Moves Like Jagger represents for Maroon 5. So yeah, basically I'm calling it a sellout move. Which I realize is a very serious charge to make, but I think I can back that up with evidence. Starting, of course, with the stupid title.
Kiss me till you're drunk and I'll show you all the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger.
Moves like Jagger? Like what, snorting cocaine? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the first time in history that anyone has tried to pick up a girl by saying they can dance like Mick Jagger.
I've got the moves.
mean, moves like Michael, moves like James Brown, moves like Jagger? Really? Congratulations, you can do such classic, amazing dance moves as the geriatric shoulder shimmy, the duck-faced chicken flap, and of course the I'm pointing my fingers at you. I mean, the video tries to make dancing like Mick Jagger look like something cool, but all it proves is how much it looks ridiculous on anyone who is not Mick Jagger, and Jagger doesn't even pull it off a lot of the time. It's a total failure as a come-on, because no one wins girls over by dancing like Mick Jagger, and certainly not by bragging about dancing like Mick Jagger. I mean, I guess it's better than moves like Tom York, or, well, moves like Soulja Boy. But still, you know, really? It only gets more ridiculous the more you think about it.
Look into my eyes and I'll own you.
I own you. With my moves like Jagger. Brown sugar, how come you taste so good? Maroon 5 obviously only wrote that line because Mick Jagger is really popular nowadays,
Look like Mick Jagger.
which itself is weird. Usually when a musical icon becomes hip again, it's because they have a comeback single, or a really good album, or they duet with a younger artist, or they have a movie made about them, or they die. Mick Jagger, meanwhile, got popular again because his name rhymes with swagger.
These girls, they like my swagger, they calling me Mick Jagger.
Swagger Jagger, Swagger Jagger.
Yeah, that's all it took. I'm guessing we could probably get John Fogerty popular again if schmogerty ever becomes a trendy buzzword. Internet, get on that. So I guess moves like Jagger is innovative in that it somehow doesn't rhyme Jagger with swagger, but there's no indication that Levine was trying to do anything but cash in on a trend when he wrote this. I honestly wanted this song to do a whole lot more with the whole Rolling Stones thing, but as a wise man once said, you can't always get what you want. So instead, the rest of the lyrics are just Levine hitting on you in ways that could only be impressive to himself.
And make it okay, I swear I'll behave.
I won't bite hard.
And it goes like this. Take me by the tongue and I'll know you.
Take me by the tongue? That's your pickup line? Take me by the... No. 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 I think the lyrics are just clunky and obvious.
I put on a show, now we're naked.
Now we're naked! How'd that happen? So, wanna see my Mick Jagger moves? Jumpin' Jack Flash, it's a gas! Yeah, sorry, it's just my mind always pulls back to Mick Jagger because it's the only thing of interest lyrically in the song. In fact, one of the most grating things about the song is how little it has to do with the Rolling Stones outside of the title. It sure as hell doesn't sound like the Rolling Stones, and there's no real indication in the lyrics that Levine knows the slightest thing about Mick Jagger other than he's presumably a cool guy you'd want to compare yourself to. And what's worse, and there's no other way to say it, Adam Levine does not have the moves like Mick Jagger. Moves like Tom Jones, maybe. Jagger, no. And it's not just the dancing, it's the attitude. The Rolling Stones were loose and mean and dirty, and they sang about things like Satan and slave rape. If they'd named the song Moves Like Elvis, it still would have been wrong, but at least would have been in the right ballpark. But you know what, they just didn't care. And it's just like, what's popular right now?
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger. Let's write a song about Mick Jagger. And whistling is popular too. Everyone's whistling, so let's add some whistles in there. It sounds like studio executives wrote it. Oh, right, and before I forget, there's also one other big reason for that.
You wanna know how to make me smile? Take control on me just for the night.
Whoa, Christina Aguilera was on The Voice with Maroon 5, and now she's on a song by Maroon 5. What a weird coincidence!
Well, if I share my secret, you're gonna have to keep it.
If moves like Jagger looks like a nervous, awkward move from Maroon 5, it reeks of utter desperation for Christina Aguilera. I wish I had more time to dedicate to Christina's descent into complete irrelevance, especially that colossal failure of her last album and its terrible debut single and its god-awful video. I mean, there's a huge difference between Lady Gaga making weird, provocative videos because she has a lot of ideas she thinks are cool and wants to share, and Christina ham-fistedly trying to be shocking in the laziest way possible. It's just, as an artist, she's always seemed just confused about what she's trying to accomplish, and that's especially obvious on her horribly gratuitous guest verse. It just shows how little Aguilera has grown as an artist, too.
Nobody else can see this.
It's just the same damn thing she always sings. I didn't watch The Voice, but I can't imagine Aguilera's advice was any good. I thought it was pitchy, and also, you need to belt out, hey, 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 at the end of every line. Okay, just for comparison's sake, let me play you a song from the 80s. In 1987, Aretha Franklin recorded a love song with George Michael. That actually happened. Now keep in mind that this is a not very good duet between a 45-year-old black woman and a young gay man. And somehow the two of them still have more chemistry than Levine and Aguilera have on this track. I mean, hell, it's hard to confirm even in the video that they were ever even in the same room at the same time. I mean, I think... Was that her? I thought I saw her. No, there's... Well, gee, I don't know. Was that really her or a stand-in? Much like the Mick Jagger references, Christina's presence here is utterly pointless. It adds nothing. They have no interplay. They don't sound like they're even in the same state, let alone about to get it on. And by the way, what exactly is this secret they keep singing about?
But if I share my secret, you're gonna have to keep it.
Like, neither of them are known for being modest, so what is it? Do they have really embarrassing fetishes or what? You know, I do have a soft spot for rock music with a good dance beat, which means I can't hate on this too much. I mean, hell, I probably like it more than any of the Rolling Stones' disco tracks. But ultimately, this song is just not schmo-gritty enough for my taste. It's just kind of disheartening to see Maroon 5, who are always too glossy for their own good to begin with, releasing a single that's about as superficial and pointless as Party Rock Anthem. It just gets annoying really quickly. I don't hear a song in this song. All I hear is this.
The Voice starts April 26th on NBC.
And worst of all, moves like Jagger furthers the trend of people thinking that they can have Mick Jagger's charisma just by saying they do. Dude, you're not Mick Jagger. You're never ever gonna be Mick Jagger. Seriously, Levine, get off of this cloud.